Hello everyone, welcome back to Great Broadway Fans YouTube channel. I'm Luke and today I am bringing you another specialty video. This is my personal top 10 musicals that Fox should do live next year. After the huge juggernaut success that was Grease live on January 31st this past month, Fox clearly knows how to do a live musical and do it extremely well. And as I said in my review for Grease Live, which I will put a link to down below in the video description, NBC seriously has some major competition on their hands. Now, NBC is going to be doing Hairspray Live on December 7th, and I have the list of the creative team, which was just announced earlier this morning. Kenny Leone, who directed The Wiz Live, will be directing Hairspray Live. Jerry Mitchell will be choreographing the telecast, and Harvey Fierstein will be adapting the book for television. So it's very exciting. And then, of course, Fox has the Rocky Horror Picture Show event coming up, but that is not going to be live with an exclamation point. It's going to be a pre-recorded, made-for-TV movie, and the entire it's been cast. It's starting in production right now. It's going to start principal photography next month, which is March. I will put a picture right here of the cast so you can take a gander at that. But I was talking with a friend of mine about the list of musicals that we think that Fox should do next year. Even though they haven't made an announcement confirming that they will be doing more live musicals, I think after the success of Grease, Fox would be stupid not to follow up with another live musical every single year. I mean, NBC has been doing it now. This is going to be their fourth. ABC is going to be doing a live telecast of Dirty Dancing. So I think Fox should jump on the bandwagon and just do a live musical every single year. So I have coupled together with my very good friend who runs two amazing Instagram accounts, and I will put his links down below in the video description. Please go follow him. He's at Musical Theater Lovers and at Broadway Dreamcast, and he's amazing. So we were talking and making our list, and we have come up together, and I give him full credit for all of his contribution that he did towards this list. So it's both of our heads put together, so we've come up with a top 10 list of musicals that Fox should do next year. So I have my list right here, and let's get started. So number 10 is Heathers the Musical. Now, Heathers has a very interesting history with it. The off-Broadway production was a huge success, but it closed. It has since closed off-Broadway, and shortly after it closed, there was a Broadway World News article saying that they were going to be potentially doing they were going to bring the show to Broadway in 2016, and they were also going to make a film adaptation of the musical version of Heathers. And I got to thinking, well, since big budget movies are so hard to do, especially movie musicals, why not just do Heathers live on television and have Fox do it? Because NBC has clearly made it. They've drawn the line in the sand. NBC is doing family-friendly classic musicals. Of course, Hairspray is the most modern that they've picked, but they're clearly picking family-friendly pieces. And Fox is doing things for a more grown-up audience. I mean, Grease is not, it's not R-rated, but it's definitely not G-rated. And of course, Rocky Horror, that's just bananas crazy, but everybody loves Rocky Horror. So I thought, well, what would be a better musical to do live for Fox than Heathers? I mean, the musical was such a huge success. The movie has a strong cult following. What could be better? But the reason why I put it so low is because there would have to be so much work done to the music and the book. And I would hate to think that they would have to butcher it, because there's so much profanity in that musical that I just don't know if it ever could be done, but I put it on this list because I want it to be done. Okay, number 9 is one of my favorite musicals of all time, Thoroughly Modern Millie. Now, this show is an amazing musical. If you have never heard of Thoroughly Modern Millie, you've been living under a rock. But it's basically the stage adaptation of the Julie Andrews, Mary Tyler Moore, Carol Channing movie from 1967, and it opened on Broadway at the Majestic in, I'm sorry, at the Marquis Theater, in 2002, starring Sutton Foster. She was originally the understudy out of town in La Jolla, and then the lead dropped out. She got the part, went to Broadway, won a Tony, became a huge star. Millie won 6 Tonys, including Best Musical, back in 2002, and closed in 2004. And since then, it's been done regionally and across the globe, everywhere. It seems like every single high school ever has done Thoroughly Modern Millie, which is why I think it would translate really, really well to live television. And if NBC doesn't want to do Millie, then I think Fox should, because I think it, with the right lead actress in the role of Millie, you could get butts on the couch watching this on television. And I mean, it's the 20s, it's the jazz age, it's Flappers, it's the Charleston, and it really is. I had the good fortune of being able to see the show. And the way that I describe Millie is it feels like a really big hug, like a big Valentine to New York. And it really came out at the perfect moment, because Millie opened right after 9/11 had happened in New York City, and Broadway sales were down and everything, but Millie was the show that brought people back into Broadway theaters. And that's why it won Best Musical, because it is such a great and timeless piece of theater. So I think with the right lead actress in the role of Millie and the right cast, anything could be possible. Okay, number 8 is Footloose. Now this would be a great musical. It's sort of in the same vibes as Grease, in that it's a big dance musical, it's got modern contemporary music to it, and even though everybody loves the Kevin Bacon film adaptation and not the more recent one, with the lead actor who I don't know, and Julianne Hough was in it, I actually like that version better than the original. But the stage musical, Footloose, I got to see. I saw a local theater high school put it on, and it was really, really good. And I think that Footloose is old-fashioned enough to get older audience members to see it, but then also contemporary enough for young people to see it. It's I think it could be really, really good. If done right with the right choreographer, it could be a huge, huge success. Okay, number 7 on this list is Mamma Mia. And this is a really interesting pick. My friend picked this one. And Mamma Mia has a very interesting history. It ran for over 13 years on Broadway. Maybe even 14. I can't remember. But the show has since closed on Broadway. And there, of course, is the very successful film adaptation with Amanda Seyfried and Meryl Streep. And but Mamma Mia ran so long because it connects with audiences. Everybody loves ABBA. I defy anyone to tell me that they don't like ABBA. You don't have to like the show Mamma Mia, but everybody loves that music, and you cannot help but agree with the fact that that music is so well done and so well written. And it is one of the best jukebox musicals I have ever seen in my life. And the film adaptation is very, very good. So what could be better than doing it live on television with Fox? Okay, number 6 is Chicago. Now this is a very interesting choice. But the reason why I wanted to put it on this list is because I think it actually could work. Because I'm going to make a statement right now that's going to cause a lot of controversy down in the comments. If you disagree with me, I'm sorry. But here's the thing. I hate the current stage version of Chicago that is running at the Ambassador Theater. I hate the direction. I think it's so lazy and sloppy to have no set, your orchestra completely on the stage, all of your actors are only in 1 or 2 costumes at the most, everyone sits on the stage, and that's basically it. The reason why I love Chicago is because of the movie version. The film adaptation of Chicago is still, hands down, the best film adaptation of a Broadway show I've ever seen in my life. I have seen that movie so many times, and every single time I see it, I still get goosebumps. So I think if you recreated the magic that was the movie and still brought that old-fashioned 20s grittiness to it, it could be a really great show to be done live. It could be a little bit difficult with the subject matter. I mean, it can get raunchy at times, it can get a little bit down and dirty, but you know what? I mean, if Fox can do Rocky Horror, they can do anything, basically. So I think that a live telecast adaptation of Chicago would be really fun to see. Number 5, Rent. Rent is one of those shows that never seems to leave musical theater fans' heads because it's Rent. I mean, it comes from humble beginnings. It came out of a time period in history when it resonated with audiences so clearly. It won the Tony, it won the Pulitzer. It got made into what I consider a marvelous film adaptation. I mean, everybody says that the film adaptation was crap, but I don't see why. And even though Rent is a little bit dated because, I mean, we don't have the huge AIDS epidemic that happened back in the late 80s, early 90s, the show Rent still resonates with people. And the score, oh my gosh, that musical score is breathtaking. Every single time I listen to it, I have chills because that score is so fantastic. I am not a person that enjoys sung-through musicals, but shows like Les Mis and Rent are the 2 exceptions I make to sung-through musicals, and I would really enjoy seeing Rent in its full stage entirety, watching it. I would love to see it. I just think it would be absolutely incredible. Okay, number 4 is Dreamgirls. There have been talks of a revival ever since the movie adaptation came out. There is going to be a West End revival starring Amber Riley as Effie, which is very exciting. But I think what would be... Okay, hear me out on this crazy notion. This is my prediction of what I think could, should, and will happen in the future. I think Amber Riley's going to go to London. Dreamgirls is going to be a huge success. She's going to win an Olivier for playing Effie. And then Fox should get her and do Dreamgirls live on television. Have her reprise her role as Effie because Amber Riley's amazing. She's going to be amazing. And I think Dreamgirls live on television would be incredible. The movie adaptation did so well at the box office and with the awards circuit. It won the Golden Globe for Best Picture Comedy or Musical. Jennifer Hudson won Supporting Actress for the role of Effie. I think it would be amazing to do live on television. Number 3 is West Side Story. I love this musical. There's something about West Side Story that is just one of those classic shows that everybody seems to need to brush up on when they first become a musical theater enthusiast. And the first time I watched West Side Story, I didn't like it. But then I decided to buy it on DVD years later for my collection. I have it right down there. And when I rewatched it, I just couldn't help but admire how incredible this show is. And then I got the good fortune to be able to see West Side Story done live by this local theater company in my hometown of San Diego, and oh my gosh, it's such a good musical. And Steven Spielberg has actually said publicly that he wants to do a film remake, but I think a better idea would be live on television. West Side Story live, exclamation point. Okay, the top two I'm really, really excited about. Number 2 is Legally Blonde. I love this musical. I had honestly, but when the musical came out, I had never seen the movie. Never seen the movie before the musical came out. But a friend of mine burned me a DVD copy of when MTV pro shot it live on Broadway with a live studio audience and put it up on MTV. So I have that. I have the DVD right here. I have it right here. In my possession. I still have it. And Legally Blonde, I mean, I'm not exaggerating when I tell you that that is one of the best musicals I've ever seen in my life. The book is so smart, it's so well written, the characters are excellent, and the score is fantastic. And I think that Legally Blonde live would be amazing. I don't know who you get to cast in it, but it would be pretty fan-fricking amazing. It is a modern, contemporary musical, and it's perfect for 2016 audiences, for 21st century audiences, for teenagers across the country. Everybody would love to see Legally Blonde. I would, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the country would agree with me. And finally, the number 1 musical that I want to see Fox do live on television is Little Shop of Horrors. This is one of my favorite movie musicals. The film adaptation with Rick Moranis, Steve Martin, and the amazing Ellen Greene. Little Shop of Horrors is one of those shows that takes a little time getting used to when you first see it. But it's one of my favorites. From the very first opening, of the title song "Little Shop of Horrors" with the urchins that open the musical, to the very end, when I will not spoil what happens, but the ending, just that climactic, amazing ending that happens at the end of the show, and everything that goes in between. Howard Ashman and Alan Menken wrote one of the best musical scores I've ever heard. It's sharp, it's witty, it's campy, and it's amazing. And I already have a Dreamcast for Little Shop of Horrors live. You could get Darren Criss to play Seymour, Carly Rae Jepsen as Audrey. You could get Fifth Harmony to play the urchins. Instead of 3, have 5 of them. You could get Broadway's Danny Burstein to play Mr. Mushnick. And then you could get, this is my crazy idea, you could get Queen Latifah to voice Audrey too. I know it's normally done by an African-American man, but I think an African-American woman's voice, especially Queen Latifah's voice, would be amazing with that, with the giant man-eating talking plant. So that is my list of the top 10 musicals that I think Fox should do live to follow up after Grease and then Rocky Horror happening in the fall of 2016. Thank you so much for watching. Leave me down in the comments below what shows you want to see Fox do live next year. Give this video a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. Excuse me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Links are in the video description. Once again, follow my friend at Musical Theater Lovers and at Broadway Dreamcast. And then you can follow me on my other channel, which is GreatBroadwayFan. And you can follow me on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram once there again. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.